just got done with another thrilling episode of everyone's new favorite zombie show. And if you are a fan of post-apocalyptic dramas or have a hankering for Papa Pedro, then have we got a show for you. What's shaking, Podvengers? Welcome back to another episode of Podtastic 4. It's your boy, Blacksby. Today I have with me Luis. We are just so ready to discuss our reaction to the fourth episode of HBO's The Last of Us. But before we do that, we need y'all to Hulk smash that subscribe button so you do not miss out on the most authentic fan-run content on the web. Now, without further ado, let's get into it. First things first. Luis, did you know that diarrhea is hereditary?
No.
Nah? Well, that's because it runs in your genes. Yeah.
Clever joke. Wow.
Thank you.
Puns. I love puns. Do you by chance happen to have another one?
I don't know. I think I might. What did the mermaid wear to her math class?
What did she wear to her math class?
Oh, she wore an algebra. Get it? Algebra.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I'm so punny, bro. I'm so punny. Oh my god.
You couldn't even come up with your own puns. You literally had to steal them from the
bro.
show.
Ellie is the inspiration. Shout out Bella Ramsey. When you're hearing this podcast, you know what to do. Come drop by. We're ready. Got room for all of you. Pedro, Bella, Neil, Craig, Anna, everybody involved. Come on down.
Everybody.
The whole cast,
Melanie
the whole
Linsky.
crew, everybody. Speaking of we're gonna get to that because I got things to say.
Bro. We haven't discussed this episode at all.
I know we haven't even said
decided
anything.
To wait and save it for yeah, I know. We decided to wait and save it for the episode, so I'm really interested to hear what your thoughts and takes were on this week's episode.
All right. So, I mean, as you know, I'm a big proponent of this show. I'm a big fan. I have not had anything negative to say thus far. And I don't think I will have anything negative to say because they've put this at such a high level of production and performance. Like, it's just too good. I have no hard feelings, no negative energy towards this show. This particular episode was great. It's a good pivot from last episode, with the emotional, more touchy-feely side of the world of The Last of Us, the TV show. Neil Offerman and I can't believe I forgot his name.
Murray Bartlett.
Murray. I almost said Manny Bartlett.
And
Jesus
Nick
Christ.
Offerman.
As you can tell, I've been up for way too long. I need to go to bed. Yeah, but we got work to do with this episode. So Nick Offerman.
See what we put up for you guys.
That's a sacrifice.
Our sanity and our sleep. Yeah, you're welcome.
What's mental health? What's physical health? When we got a killer podcaster,
we're a black and a brown man that doesn't exist. We don't suffer.
All we know is work
issues.
hard. Yeah, exactly. All we know is hard work. What's that?
What is that?
You mean a beer? A can of beer? That's right.
How you calling me out for my alcoholism? Chill out.
Oh, same. Even though I'm on a 6-month hiatus.
Chill, bro.
But no, for real, Nick Offerman and
Murray
Bartlett. I can't believe I forgot his name again. I'm so sorry, man. I've been saying, I specifically said it first last week too. I was like, this guy is awesome.
So you wouldn't forget it, yeah.
Murray Bartlett and Nick Offerman just did a great job of, bringing some raw emotion to this show. And like we saw a relationship that I wasn't expecting to see get drawn out like that in this show.
But do you think that keeping in mind like the fact that episode 3 was so good, right? And it was kind of do you think that then makes it difficult for the rest of the show, for the rest of the season to catch up to the highs of episode 3? I think because now the show has set the bar, right? Episode 3 is the bar to clear, right? And if every episode is not as good, if not better than episode 3, then people are going to be like, that was all right. That was okay. Which, hot take, is how I felt about episode 4. I love this show.
Episode 3 was so good that episode 4 is kind of like,
yes,
not a step down, but like it was lesser than.
It was a step down. And look, I love the show. You know how we feel about the show, and our listeners know how we feel about the show. But when episode 1 came out, I think I was probably the hardest on that. You and me were probably the hardest on that episode. when we
especially
talked
since
about
we
it.
know about the game's backstory and everything. So
exactly, and that's what I was going to mention. And this is how I felt about episode 4 was that it's good, it's not bad, because Craig Mason's a fantastic writer. They got a fantastic director to director. They got fantastic performers. So you're going to have an overall.
Name? The director, Jeremy Webb.
Overall,
GOAT.
Yeah, you're going to have an overall fantastic product. But I do think that following up episode 3 was always going to be difficult. Now, here's my take whenever we're judging series. I think people get ahead of themselves and they're like, this episode's bad, this episode sucked, this episode's bad. And then their feeling and their mood on shows changes week by week because, depending. And I think it's a lot better to judge TV shows specifically in retrospect. Once the entire show has come out, you can then judge the entire series as a whole, because now the entire thing is out. You've got a much better understanding of the tone, of the themes, of the story they're trying to tell. And I think it's much easier to formulate a smarter opinion on what you're watching, because when you go week by week, there might be things that are planted and told and shown in this episode that won't pay off until 2-3 weeks from now. You won't garner an appreciation for this episode until episode 8 comes out. And you're like, oh, shit, yeah. Although that those building blocks that they laid in episode 4 really paid off in episode 8. Now I can really appreciate episode 4 because I've watched it in congruence with episodes 5, 6, 7, and 8, and thus, that's the thing with long form storytelling, is that it is one congruent, cohesive story told over multiple episodes, multiple weeks in this case. But that brings up another point of mine, is that I think 9 episodes is too short.
Oh yeah, I 100% agree. Especially with a show/game of this caliber, this magnitude, you need at least then you go back to the original format of TV series where it was like 15, 20 episodes with a season finale at episode 21 or a 2-part. You know what I mean? And that's the problem with like the
logistics behind it. I know.
Oh, I was just saying that's a problem with how we watch the Marvel shows, and that was our big critique. It was too much crammed into such a short amount of time. You can't tell a full story that way. You basically had a movie chopped up into six hours, and they try to rush through things, and that was my biggest issue with every single Marvel show. Granted, there were some bright spots, here in WandaVision, here at the end of Loki, and this, that, and the other. But otherwise, like shows like The Last of Us, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, let down. Moon Knight, let down. Yeah. Hawkeye was kind of here and there, but She-Hulk was kind of let down here and there. But but otherwise, that's the problem. I feel like that you have a valid point. That's what The Last of Us might run into a snag with only having 8 episodes for one season. That is a fantastically long game that you got to tell a whole lot of stories about.
And that's what I was about to say is that having just recently played the first game, I was kind of impressed by like how vast and big and most story driven single player narrative focused games are like that. They're 15 to 20 hours easy, right? At least. And I just think 9 episodes is too short. I don't think they're giving themselves the grace that they should have. I think 12 episodes would have been probably more ideal. And look, and I know a lot of the game is about walking and looting and driving and swimming and doing shit that's meaningless. Yeah, that's like meaningless and like menial and just like busy work, to pad the overall runtime of the game.
It makes sense because they're traveling to a location, so I guess it's understandable if they're driving for an entire episode. He's on the road, or they're walking. And that doesn't make forest,
and that's the point of an adaptation, is just to play to each medium's strength. Like that doesn't work in TV and film, and I understand that. It just, but something that I'm starting to notice is that the show, again, if you've never played the game, then you're not going to feel this probably. But having just played both games recently in like the past 3 weeks, it does feel like the show's moving incredibly fast, through the story of the first game. Now, that's what happens when you adapt a video game, right? Is you're going to cut, the creatives are going to pick and choose what to cut, what not to cut. And we've talked about this before. We trust Craig Mazin and Neil Druckmann enough to support their decisions. And again, this is just something that I've noticed 4 episodes in. You know, come episode 8, come episode 9, then I'll be able to make a much more formulated opinion. Be like, oh, never mind. The pacing actually was great, and it did work out because we hit all the story points in the game that we needed to hit, and it actually flowed much better than I thought when looking at it week by week. When you look at it all, you sit down and you binge it and you rewatch it, it works a lot better. So, you know, I'm holding, you know, I have not reservations. It's just something that I'm noticing that I think it's interesting that I'm going to keep an eye on. But that's not to say that I think the quality of the show has diminished or gone down at all. I still think, in fact, one of the things I loved about this episode was how wonderful Joel and Ellie's relationship and their dynamic was developed in this episode. I thought that was beautiful. I thought it was magnificent. I thought it was wonderful. I think
that's actually one of the bigger points I have on my notes pulled up. My critiques and details and all that pulled up, and that's a major. I think I wrote it twice even. Like I wrote at the beginning, I wrote here we finally see Joel and Ellie start to form their bond, but like I expanded on that point. I said that you know, Joel is starting to develop that fatherly care for Ellie, and I mean we kind of saw a glimpse of it in the first episode. Obviously, they showed his backstory with Sarah. And Sarah got put in a pack by that Fedra agent. But then we were smoking that Sarah pack. And I was like, no. And then whenever they were escaping the QZ in Boston, another Fedra agent was about to put Ellie in a pack. And you know, Joel, I gotta protect my little girl, even though that wasn't his little girl, you know? Yeah. So I guess he had that split second of, I must do what I can to protect her. Cause I guess he saw Sarah in that. He saw Sarah in that moment. And then obviously they went through the last couple, you know, adventures and episodes. He's kind of like treating her like cargo, like she's just a thing to bring another mission, if you will. And then now he's kind of becoming, he's softening up. We've had this hardened, up to her, masculine, super badass of a man starting to show his softer, more vulnerable side. And I like how they're not, you know, thrusting us into that. They're just easing into it, and of course we'll see it grow. They're easing it into it. Yeah, we'll see it flourish throughout the rest of the season.
And again, and I think that's the importance of, you know, casting such fantastic performers like Bella Ramsey and Pedro Pascal. I'm incredibly impressed by Bella Ramsey's performance. I think they're phenomenal, and you know, I think they're absolutely killing the game, and just the way that they can make, like, because I feel like this character in the wrong hands, like Ellie could come off as kind of annoying,
pretentious, right? Or like, an asshat.
Just kind of kind of that annoying fucking kid, right? But something that's a younger sibling, right? Something that's so awesome about the video game Ellie is that she doesn't come off like that at all, you know. And that's what's so wonderful about Ashley Johnson's performance is that you get the sense that Ellie is a child, but she's also funny and endearing and kind of warm. And Bella Ramsey does that beautifully. They're so endearing and they're so warm and funny and charming, and just I don't know, and just the relationship that they've built with Pedro Pascal's Joel is just those two performers just work so beautifully. They
bounce off each other really well.
Each other, and they have fantastic chemistry. And you know, if you're keep up with like red carpet events and like the promotional campaign and stuff, like you can tell that those two people really love each other and they really seem to value and care for each other. But and that really comes off, pays dividends, I think, because I mean that relationship is obviously the most important and is the driving force of this story. And so you have the fact that they got it perfectly down and they cast two performers who have fantastic chemistry and really seem to love each other is paying dividends, because that's very apparent on the screen. And
on and off screen too, because the way you know Pedro carries himself. I read that he reached out to Bella's parents through text to communicate and be like, hey, you know, we're working on this project together. I just want to reach out to y'all first. That kind of thing. I was like, that's a respectable man, and he's building this relationship with his co-star. off screen so they can, genuinely have that on screen relationship done well and done right. And I gotta brag on Bella, as we've been bragging this episode, the last few episodes we've done, The Last of Us. Bella's acting chops are really shining. Like you said, bringing a certain aspect to Ellie that is still true to the character, but different from the portrayal in the video game.
Yes. It's an interpretation.
Yeah, exactly. And the emotional range that she went through, especially in this episode, like the jokes being cracked, like those ones we threw out earlier. That's a shout out Bella, shout out Ellie. But just seeing the funny side, seeing the little bit more intense, more serious side, seeing the sadness, the shock that Ellie showed after shooting the ambushers. I was like, bro,
I was literally about to say that scene where Ellie has to shoot. What's his name? Brian. Fuck
Brian. Yeah,
smoking that Brian pack.
He's smoking that Brian. Fuck OG Brian. In the air. Brian.
Get
pack.
Out of here. Bye.
We put him in the backwoods.
But yeah, that scene where Ellie shoots Brian, I thought that in and of itself just encapsulates like what a phenomenal performer Bella Ramsey is.
And they're just doing everything. Like, I don't know why people. Right. I know why people are hating, but I don't understand why people are hating on such a talented performer. They are doing this role justice, and they are killing every scene. I've not seen one scene that Bella's in where I'm like, get her out, get out. And I'm just like, please give us more. You just no crumbs, just keep eating.
I think that's something I want to mention about Pedro Pascal too. Like we know that I'm a huge Pedro fan, and I love him, and I'm incredibly
on order.
I'm incredibly biased, but I think this might be one of my favorite performances of his, because I don't think he's given the opportunity to show the range and the complexities that a character like Joel has very often, and I think that's wonderful for him, and for someone that I'm a fan of to finally be given an opportunity, despite being incredibly successful and very famous and very productive, and he does it work a lot. I think this might be one of his best performances so far.
Absolutely,
and I think that's fantastic. And speaking of performances, isn't there somebody you want to talk about?
Oh man, there's a couple actually. So, bro, first, before we get into the main person I want to talk about, we're going to talk about Jeffrey Pierce being in this show. This is incredible.
I was just about to say that.
I was looking whenever he showed up on screen, I was like, Perry. I don't remember this character being in the game. And I kept looking at him like, why does he look so familiar? So why does he look so fucking familiar? And I was like, wait a minute. Oh my God, that's OG Tommy. Mm-hmm. That's Tommy. Mm-hmm. I like how they're bringing people from. I wonder if we're going to see Troy Baker in here.
We are. Troy Baker and Ashley Johnson are both in it.
They're in the show. I did not know they're going to be in here.
Yeah, they have the whole ass roles and stuff. Yeah,
bro, we back up. Streets is up.
I know. Yeah,
this is
boys
great.
up.
I
agree.
Up 10,000. Yeah, I was like, dude. I was like, bro, this is insane. He's in here and he's killing it. It's great.
See, to be fair, I didn't know who Jeffrey. I didn't know who Jeffrey Pierce was, right?
Yeah.
I saw the episode and I was like, okay, I guess pretty cool, I guess. And I looked up the cast afterwards. And, you click and you just do your research or whatever to prepare for the episode and stuff. And I was like, this is the dude that voiced Tom. Yeah. Holy fuck. I was like, he's great. And I just think that's something that kind of off topic, but people that don't often respect or give voice actors the respect they deserve. I think it's such an incredibly underappreciated medium, right? And I think it's so difficult, and there's those artists are so talented in their own right, and like you said, I just think it's so cool of Neil and Craig to get the original voice actors for these characters and be like, you guys are such an important part of this. How could we ever not even imagine to do this and not include y'all? Exactly. And so I think that's such a beautiful way to honor, these iconic characters and their voice actors. And I just thought that was awesome.
And that's kind of like, we've been talking about the movies coming up this year that we're going to be covering, like the Super Mario Bros. Movie, which is, we're excited, but it's like, dude, come on, hire better voice actors. There's people sitting right there who can do these roles.
Hire actual voice actors. Not better voice actors. Hire actual
voice actors. Chris Pratt and Anna Taylor-Joy and even Seth Rogen. Like, I'm sorry to y'all, but it's not it.
Cast Pedro Pascal as Mario.
I know the SNL bit was hilarious.
Anything to go by?
I was like, this is fantastic. Funny. Why he's out here acting his let's go ass off. I was like, this is great. Mamma mia, like
go. Let's go.
It was fantastic.
Damn, Chris Pratt can't deliver that. Chris Pratt can't do that.
He was let's go. I was like, dude, shut up. Go back to Jurassic World. Yeah, when he said that, I was like,
every time.
Shut up, bitch.
Yeah, exactly. Every time he talks in the movies, I'm just gonna go, boo, shut the fuck up.
Get him out of here. There's gonna be you.
Get the fuck out of here.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks.
Basically, it's gonna be me the entire time, and I'm gonna get kicked out for disruptive behavior.
Stick to Star-Lord. Stick to the Terminal List. Stick to your Parks and Rec.
And stick to Booster Gold.
No, yeah. No, wait. No, hold on. We had this discussion. I know
it's a discussion for another day. You're right.
Yeah,
sorry, guys.
We will. For those of y'all who don't know, we're gonna do our fan cast episode for DC here in a little bit. As time goes on, things develop, because we don't want to be like certain people, certain influencers who hype things up and then be completely wrong and then ruin everyone's expectations for the movie. And now DC's in the tank again. So, yep. No shade, but shade. I'm planting trees so you can have the shade. All the shade. Like this thing right here.
All the shade.
This right here to my right are the shades. These are blinds.
You know who you are.
Thing.
You know who we're talking about.
Targeted. But yeah, back to more important things. Yeah, Jeffrey Price and Kathleen. Kathleen is terrifying. Kathleen terrifies the hell out of me in a way that I didn't think I could be scared before.
I am in love with Melanie Linsky. Like, legitimately,
She's
am
awesome.
in love with her. I love her so much. She's amazing. Did you ever watch a show called Yellow Jackets?
Oh no, you told me about it when we had our hype. I think it was our 2023.
Oh yeah, I did.
Our countdown.
Melanie Linsky. I was like, I need
to watch
that show.
I need to get on the.
Melanie Linsky is in that, and she is fantastic and amazing. But see, that goes, she. I wish she had more screen time, and I know she's going to in the next episode, so I'm not worried about it. But it's just like, God, dude, it's like, see what. Hire good people to make good shit, and the good shit will be made. It's that's simple. It. We talked about it. Hire competent, talented, passionate people, and you're gonna get something that's pretty good at the end of the day. And that's what it is. Like they just hired Melanie Linsky, like a phenomenal actress, to play a character, Kathleen, who's probably gonna have a two episode arc, and that's
at least 2 episodes. Doing something, and then I don't know, maybe Joel will shoot her. Who knows? We'll see. Something's gonna happen, or maybe she'll live and she'll just disappear.
She's actually not. She's a show created for the show.
For the show, yeah.
In the game.
I think that's what Perry and Kathleen were created specifically for the show. So like this is like we've said before. This is just being very well done. Like you said, they're picking up good talent to do this show. It's not like they're just throwing any which person.
This is what I was gonna. This is why I said earlier about like having it ties in those. I feel like I saw the preview for the next episode. Looks like it's gonna it's fucking sick, and that's the thing.
That's one of this episode. You might see too.
You might think that this episode was like kind of slow, or it was kind of like a downbeat in the series as a whole. But all the setup we got, all the character focused stuff, and the character arcs that the character development that we got for Joel and Ellie in this episode are going to pay off in episode 5 when shit hits the fan and Joel has to trust Ellie and Ellie has to trust Joel, and their dynamic and their relationship is the only thing that's going to save them and keep them moving forward. So it's like you think that this episode's like, oh, where's the action? Where the fucking zombies? Relax. That'll come in due time. What's important is these characters and their arcs and their relationships, and that's what good storytelling is. You'll get the episodes where shit pops off and there's explosions and zombies are fucking killing people. And it's coming. It's coming. I promise you, it's coming. And some cool shit's happening. Some cool set pieces are going to happen too. But it's like you got to trust the process. So when you take it episode by episode, this might be, a good TV episode of TV. but not as good as episode 3. But we'll see. Come episode 5, when Melanie Linsky's being evil and terrifying as fuck, when Sam and Henry are breaking our hearts, it's
big pain.
It's gonna be big pain. No spoilers, but they're fantastic, and
emotional.
Is that a point on your list, Sam and Henry?
All I wrote was I didn't want to go too deep into it, but I wrote next episode's gonna be intense as hell. Like it's gonna be intense as hell. We saw the big boy. We saw a big boy at the end.
Bloater, right?
I'm sorry for whoever hasn't seen the actual show. By now you should know. Every time we talk about these reactions, we're going to say stuff that's happened in the episode. So if you haven't seen it and you're still watching this or listening to this, pause the episode.
Yeah, plus we also post it kind of like a week, almost a week after the
episode's out. So you have time. You have no excuse. You have no excuse. Get on the ball. Get it together, bro.
Poor guy who's a single dad. And he has 3 kids and like 2 jobs.
Yeah, he's trying. He's like, bro, I'm sorry.
I can only do so much, man.
Well, you know what? Shout out to you, Mr. Single Father with 3 children who consistently listens to our podcast. We appreciate you. We appreciate we appreciate everyone.
Non-affirming parent. Yeah.
Exactly. Parents rock.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you haven't seen the episode, watch it right now and then come back and listen to what we're about to say, because episode 5 is going to be intense. I'm excited. Like you said, it's going to be more action forward. What I do want to see, if not in episode 5 or in the future episodes, I do want to see, of course, when they reach Tommy, they're going to do some, I think I have a strong feeling they're going to do some type of, what is he doing in all this time?
Standalone Tommy episode. I thought the same exact thing.
Tommy-centric episode. I want to see what he was doing with the Fireflies, what he was doing with Joel's past, with Tess and Tommy. I want to see all that unfold. So we can understand that the dark side that Joel has, that is showing up in these moments where he's having to be violent. And then it's also showing up in Ellie as she's, riding with Joel and she had to defend him against Brian, put Brian in that pack. Like we're seeing, I want to see that what led up to that. I don't want to just have a character just get thrown and they're like, oh, he does this shit because this is what happened in the past, but we'll never expound on that. So I feel like
we already know we're getting an Ellie centric episode.
Oh yeah,
just from like the promotional materials and the trailers.
Maybe
and stuff.
Maybe that'll be like the finale, or like towards the end, kind of see where she's grown the whole series.
I feel like it could, if it based on the game and it ends where, the first game ends, then episode 8.
That's gonna, oh my god.
I know, bro. I'm gonna say the hospital, bro.
Pain.
That scene, that episode's that's gonna be the penultimate episode for sure.
We're gonna be sick to our stomach. We're gonna be throwing up.
Yeah.
Crying,
I don't know, man. I'm excited. I can't wait for next week's episode. I love this week's episode. I thought it was great. Like I said, I'm just kind of like, I'm still riding the high from episode 3, and so it's gonna be hard to compete with that. And so, like I said earlier, following up episode 3, it was always gonna be a tall task. And Craig Mazin's smart. Neil Druckmann is smart. They know this. They know that they're like, everyone's going to be riding a high from episode 3. Episode 4 kind of we'll let them mellow, chill out. And then episode 5 will fucking hit them and will assault all their senses again. And
Look at it
it's going to be like, boom, boom, boom.
Like episode 4 was a palate cleanser, between your dishes, your meals, you eat something, and you're like, oh, I need something to transition to this next course. Well, this is the palate cleanser. Now we're about to get the main, I don't want to say the main event, but like this is something else, another entree, some fire, something delicious, get your little chimichurri sauce, a little, what I'm talking about. But yeah, this is definitely one of, like we've said before, like we said last time we did The Last of Us reaction, probably every episode that we talk about, it's going to be the same thing. This is one of the best TV shows out in recent years for sure. Especially with everything that we've been inundated with from, Phase 4, Marvel, Invincible, everything that's come out in the last few, Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon, The Walking Dead. This is one of my favorite shows so far. And we're only 4 episodes in, so I'm excited to see where we get to.
So sorry if we sound like broken records, just kind of like singing its praises and,
they're going to have to,
I'm sure that can be annoying. And you guys want more detail and detail-oriented analysis, and but it's just, we're just huge fans of everybody involved, and it's really good. And so, you're going to have to deal with us just singing its praises over and over again, But, at the same time, we can offer nuance. Like I said, like I think my thoughts on this episode were, weren't overly generous. I did point out some things that I think, not concern me, but, like that I'm cautious about. But at the end of the day, come end of season 1, we're going to be like, that was fantastic. That was a wonderful season of TV. And
not to sound,
seasons 2 and 3.
Not to sound braggadocious or like on our high horse or toot our own horn, but I'm kind of tooting our own horn a little bit. That's one of the things that separates our channel from a lot of these other channels that you may watch on the regular. That makes us, very unique. We're able to enjoy things, but still analyze it critically without being a shill or, a mindless fanboy. Yeah. That's the point of art. It's the point of the media that we consume. You don't go. There are movies that you go into and you just kind of turn your brain off and watch Black Adam. But there's other movies that you watch and you have to think about it. Really, you have to think
Avatar
about it.
2.
The what? Avatar 2.
That's it. Avatar 2.
Yeah. I mean, we should have done an episode on that. Slight tangent. We should have done an episode on that, but it's not worth. It's honestly not. It's a good film. Don't get me wrong. It's not worth doing it. It's just the same movie, the same movie before, just in the water. Avatar 1 story rehashed in the water versus,
and the third one's going to be fire.
So they're just going through the whole Avatar elements cycle, word to the left.
Basically, yeah.
But no, for real. That's the thing about our channel. We're able to, be analytical, be able to enjoy art, and then break it down in our own perspectives. Everyone has their own take on things.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, we do love all this stuff, right? And I think, let's not get twisted. We do love, all this, the fandom, all these things we talk about.
IPs
but that doesn't mean, all this nerd culture stuff. But that doesn't mean we can't shit on it. If anything, right? That give it we should be able to be critical of the things we love, because you want what's best for it, right? You want better for it. So we don't want to settle for less, and we don't want to settle for mediocrity and bad faith products, right? So that's why we should be critical about the things that we love. You can enjoy them, but you can also be critical of them and expect more, because that's human beings are nuanced, and every situation in this world is nuanced, and nothing is black and white. So just think about that whenever you're like, oh my God, they're raving about The Last of Us. Just remember that there will be an episode where I shit on Ant-Man, and it's gonna happen. And so don't worry. You will get your hater. Luis is still here. I will never change.
Brother, this guy stinks.
Don't ever doubt, my true intentions. I will forever and always be an Ant-Man hater, and I will always hate those movies. So,
oh my God,
there's multitudes to us. There's multitudes to us.
Yeah,
That's all I wanted to say.
Word to Shrek, we're like an onion. Onions have layers. We have very many layers on this show. Cakes have layers too. But yeah,
they do.
We're definitely going to be. Everyone's perspective is different. There are times where we're straight across the board on the same page, but there's other times where we've talked about things where we're like, dude, this is good, this is bad. I'm pretty sure if we had done this, if we had started this channel a year or two ago, back when Phase 4 was just now getting into the thick of it, we would have had all types of varying
opinions about stuff.
Mm-hmm. But maybe we'll do a Marvel, what's it called, Multiverse Saga recap in the future.
God.
So in 10 years we'll do it.
Yeah, in 20 years, yeah.
Once we get to phase 6.
When the MCU is over with. Yeah. Sorry, my Siri was talking.
See, I don't understand too, Siri. We're never gonna end this. Even when we're 90 years old, we're still gonna be doing this. We'll be talking for years after we've started movies and everything. But before we end this episode, let's do another a ranking for episode 4. Just in, same thing. One, I guess 1 through 5 stars, or if you want to do 1 through 10. I think I'll do 1 through 10. That's what we did last time.
I think 1 through 10, it gives you a little bit more
range,
flexibility. Yeah, I would
give
it.
You want a drum roll?
Like a 7.
A 7?
7.5. 7.5. That people might think that's being harsh, but I think. I mean, the good moments were great, but like I said, it's just hard to follow up episode 3, and then maybe on a rewatch, I'd be like, never mind, this is like an 8.5. But I think it's good. I thought it was a pretty good episode, and yeah.
No, that's totally fair. I 100% agree. I think I would give it also a 7.5, maybe an 8, solely because Bella and Pedro's acting held it down, specifically Bella. Yeah. Bella is the star of this episode. I know, yes, the Joel and Ellie show, but Bella really held it down.
Yeah.
And it was enough intensity to where it wasn't too, action forward, but it was enough to keep you drawn in. It was very much like
they're cock teasing us. Yeah. Next episode's gonna be action heavy.
Something was knocking over there. Like, what's happening? I think my ice machine's on, but
if you're an FBI agent,
they're trying to get me. They heard we're cooking, so they're trying to stop us.
It's Kevin Feige.
He heard the Marvel sign. This train never gonna stop. What did you say about it? Yeah. I said Phase 4 is
They're knocking on my door actually because I said Ant-Man sucks. He heard I'm gonna fall off the face of the earth. Yeah.
Mysterious accident.
Yeah, Luis shot himself 2 times in the head.
Word to what's his name? That one CIA. Oh, we're not gonna get into that. We're really gonna get disappeared.
Let's not get into that. That's a different podcast. That's a
wrong channel. This is a movie, TV show, film, entertainment channel. We are not a true crime.
Comics, video games. Yeah, no.
Yeah,
this isn't a conspiracy podcast.
Let's not get put in a pack. I'd rather not get packed up.
Yeah, not yet. I want to go on my own terms.
But speaking of packing up, that is the end for this episode. We appreciate y'all watching or listening to our channel. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at ThePodtastic4 with the number 4 to stay tuned to everything coming up this year. Hulk smash, the MF like button. Hulk smash, that's the button.
I was gonna say, do you want to plug your own personal Twitter? So they could follow us on our own personal Twitter.
I'm not as active on my personal Twitter since we started this channel. Plus, like, Twitter's been going to crap anyway, so I'm just waiting for the inevitable.
Y'all can follow me on Twitter. I want the followers. I need the clout. At Luis Luis Aleman A. At Luis Luis Aleman ALEMAN A. Follow me for some fire tweets.
Some diabolical tweets too.
It's mostly diabolical tweets. It's mostly just me just ranting about my life, crying about stuff.
I would shout out my Twitter too, but it's hard to spell. Let me pull it up. It's at here we go. At capital B, lowercase LVCKSBY _. It's Blacksby with a V. You know what I'm saying? The Great Blacksby. That's my moniker. But yeah,
he's internet famous.
I don't know. I'll just be on here tweeting. I'll be letting thoughts off. So I probably should stop. It's gonna get me in trouble one day. But that's why we started the podcast, to let our thoughts off. But yeah, thank you guys so much for listening to our channel. Leave us a 5-star review wherever you listen to this podcast. Send the podcast to your YouTube channel to your friends and family, so everyone can jump in and see what kind of great content we have coming out this year. 2023 is gonna be massively loaded. We're only in February and we've got so much stuff happening right now. More stuff coming up. So stay tuned. Don't be asleep. Don't be one of those people who misses out on something fantastic that's being built here. Be a part of something great.
Wake up, sheeple.
Yeah, wake up. You're not. Oh my gosh! But yeah, that'll be all.
Say what you're gonna say.
Oh no, we'll save that for another day. That's all, guys. Peace.
Bye, guys.
Thanks for watching.